Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Alright, welcome into the Woodward Sports Network. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. My name is Booner, as always, joined co-host, Detroit Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. It is Matthew Broder. We've got Jaylen in the TD booth, as always, and we've got the morning show guy. We've got one of those higher ups in our booth today. We've got Lucas Klotz in the sound booth today.
They call him the ball knower.
We've got the ball knower.
Hey, real quick in the chat, do they hear an echo?
Hey, chat, can you guys hear an echo?
I hear one in my ear.
I know, it's faint, but I just want to make sure the chat doesn't hear it.
All right.
I think we're good because they haven't said anything yet. Some shift god said, Coach Broder, you do look like a coach today.
No, do I?
You actually look like Connor Stallions.
Hey, gotta support my guys. I'm not supporting Connor Stallions. We'll see how that all comes out, but I am supporting my school.
I don't know if we can support Connor Stallions. I put something here.
Sorry.
Let's just hit that right away.
Yeah, there's some shady stuff coming out.
I haven't seen anything on it.
Very shady stuff. Jaylen, can you throw that picture up, that the Central Michigan guy that they allegedly think is Connor Stallions at the Michigan State Central Michigan game? This is kind of wild to me. I can't tell if it's him.
It looks like Dylan Larkin.
Actually, that's not a bad. It does look like Dylan Larkin. I don't think that's Connor Stallions. I could be like a simp, a Michigan slappy. That's not Connor Stallions.
It's just everything surrounding it's really shady. Like
it is.
Of this guy who it might not be him, but there's some resemblance. And when there was one play when the ball goes like into the sideline, the running back or receiver goes into the sideline, and he's like kind of puts his head down. I saw that. Puts his sunglasses. It's like it's very shady. And the central coach sort of deflected all the questions. We didn't we're handling it like we don't know. His name wasn't on the list. The passes to get in, there's
a few things that I definitely haven't questioned. First of all, that guy in that picture has, when you look at different pictures, he has hair. Connor Stallion's bald. So there's that. But the thing that really gets me with all of this is you would think that the Central Michigan head coach would be like, that he would sit there and say, hey, this is Coach Lucas Klotz. We know who this guy is. The fact that they just haven't came out and they just haven't been like, this is this guy, he's on our staff, we know exactly who he is, that worries me a lot.
Yeah,
because you know who everyone under, even if it's the head coach that doesn't know, if that was a strength staff,
someone be like, oh, that's our guy, that's John Doe,
because he had a pass, he was dressed literally in the same shirt as all of the coaches on the sideline. I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Crazy. We'll see more details keep coming out every day.
Said, I'm so over this conversation already. Guilty until proven innocent. I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm with you. That just came out though yesterday, and we didn't talk about it really. So I just wanted to throw it in. This was wild to me. But hey, we have a packed show for you guys today.
Packed.
We are going through a lot more. We're going to go through a lot more of the trade deadline stuff. We're going to go through the Detroit Lions kind of contending. It is the bye week, so we can still break down the game, talk about kind of going forward, but we can use the bye week and next week kind of just like a mid-season thing. We have some mid-season grades in here. At 8:15, we're going to go over the trade deadline a little bit. I heard some conversations around different shows today, so I do want to bring those up. One of the people is on our show right now, Lucas Klotz, who had a lot to say on BDE in the morning show, so I'm interested to kind of hear that. Spoke with Easy a little bit in between shows in regards to that, so we're going to do that at 8:15. 8:30, we're going to kind of ask the question, are the Detroit Lions still contenders in the NFC and the NFL?
Yup.
8:45, which players on the IR are most important to return, James Houston or CJ Gardner-Johnson?
That one.
You text me that one, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah, well, hey, plays right into Brad Holmes' strategy, his hypothetical strategy. We'll see.
I'm excited for that. 9 o'clock, mid-season report card. We wrote down a bunch of players, some coaches, maybe even a certain GM is on that. We're going to go over our mid-season report card at the bye. 9:15, we're going to break down the rest of the Lions schedule, and we want the people We want you guys to vote on what you guys think the rest of the schedule will be. We'll go game by game. 9:30, we're going to talk Jared Goff and his contract, if there will be an extension going forward. We have our beat reporter here, so he might have a little insider information. He looks like he does not. All right, fair enough. 9:40, we're going to talk about the Pistons, and then we're going to end the show with mailbag.
Insider speculation.
Do you ever get, like, how does that work as a beat reporter? Are you, like, speaking with other beat reporters and, like, all these different, like, I'm trying to think of who the bigger names are. Like, do you speak with them on all this?
Yeah, not as much. I mean, I'm still getting to know everybody both down in Allen Park and the other writers around there. There's the answer is yes. I'm not there yet. It takes some experience getting to know these people, building the relationships, and getting insider information requires trust. It's coming from someone inside the organization or connected to the players. So it's just about who you trust, the relationships that you build, and who you trust. And I got some work to do there. I try to listen and hear what's going on and make my own educated thoughts and opinions. Share those with you guys. But if I ever do get something, obviously this is the first place we'd hear it.
Well, you've got one already, John Macaroon, who's been on the show.
John he's a man,
a legend. We'll have to have him on. Let's have him on for the bye, either this week or next week.
All right.
We have 2 weeks basically with no Lions game, so we're gonna have to definitely do that and get him on. Another thing here too.
Tim.
Did you guys see the Jordan Love stuff in the Green Bay Packers?
I didn't.
So there's this tweet that came out. One of the beat reporters for the Packers. There was a press conference. I believe it was the GM that came out and had a press conference. Look at this tweet real quick about the Jordan Love. Rob Dombotsky. Hope I didn't mispronounce that, but he said when asked if the Packers might need more than this season to figure out if Jordan Love is the guy, and he's obviously asking the GM, he said, I hope not, but he called the next 10 games as an important 10 games and added that things aren't clicking and it is difficult to evaluate anything.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. That's there's a lot to unpack there with saying so little, but still kind of saying a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? The last line. It's difficult to evaluate anything when things aren't clicking. To be honest, I feel like that's the time where it's most important to evaluate things, or where you learn the most of your players and your team, like how they react to adversity, when things aren't going right, especially a quarterback, especially a young quarterback. What's he act like? What's he look like? What's the team look like in terms of following his leadership when things aren't going well? I actually think this is a perfect opportunity for any team to evaluate a young quarterback. So for him to say that, as a GM, that's a little strange to me. I think you got to take advantage of this opportunity, even if this season's a wash for Green Bay. You got to use this. Use this to your advantage.
I agree with that. I do agree though, to the point to where the next 10 games you're going to know whether or not, like, if it's bad, you're going to know whether or not Jordan Love's your franchise guy.
Oh yeah.
And I was pretty vocal at the beginning. I did a couple of shows with Lucas a couple months back, and I was pretty vocal that I thought the reason they kept Jordan Love around, they gave him an extra year. He has next year on his contract. They extended him. They were like, all right, let's at least extend him for a year. They did that. And I was pretty vocal that, hey, they did that for a reason. They feel like he's their guy. And already, 7-8 games in, they're already questioning, like, can he be our guy? Because he's been bad. It's point blank.
The whole reason why they extended him to that, I believe it was like a 2-year extension for like 25 million.
Yeah.
Like, it's so they could move off of him if they needed to very easily, and if he was doing well, you have him on a great 2-year contract where you can draft around him, and then you can sign him to that long-term deal. So that's the reason why I was like, and I'm not like saying I told you so, but that's why me personally, I was like, something's not right here. Like, when you know you have a good quarterback, you don't sign him to a 2-year extension that's team friendly.
Yeah. Looking back on it, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was just wrong about that.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I definitely was.
You hear extension and you're like, oh, okay, so they're giving him more money because they trust him. But it was different when you consider he's going into it'd be year 4. They gave him an extra year on top. It was an evaluation contract for sure, and like Lucas said, something easy to move off of if he doesn't play well. So,
how great is it right now that the NFC North is doing what's happening right now? The Bears are in shambles. They're just throwing out $80-90 million contracts like candy on Halloween.
Candy.
They're throwing out, what is it called? Candy corn on Halloween. That's what they're doing with their defensive players right now. The Minnesota Vikings quarterback just went down. Not RIP, but I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. But they're probably out with Kirk Cousins. They're selling the house. It feels like they sold a ton of defensive players last year, and then you have the Green Bay Packers who are putting their franchise quarterback. They moved on from a Hall of Famer, and they're like, hey, you have 10 games. Let's see what you can do. Figure it out.
That DMAC clock. They're putting the DMAC clock up on
did.
Jordan Love right in the corner. Jordan, 10 games. Yeah, 10 games left. One of which is against the Lions on Thanksgiving. Mark that as an L.
And then in the North, you have the Detroit Lions, who are dominating. And Brad Holmes, and we're going to talk about this. He's still dominating right now, so I'm excited for it. Next thing here, 2 more things here before we get into this Brad Holmes trade deadline, Woodward Sports kind of nonsense that was going around. Kyle, I saw this graphic here. I don't know if anyone in the room saw this. Kyle Shanahan, crazy stat, fellas.
When I saw this in the prep, it blew me away.
He is 1-31 when trailing by 3 or more points entering the fourth quarter.
Ugh.
That's unbelievable.
So if you're playing the 49ers, your strategy is go into the fourth quarter up 3.
That was my first thought.
1-31. That's as a head coach of the 49ers. They're
Similar to that Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
You're right. Actually,
Even with the Falcons, man.
Wow. They're beat. Like I was one of those. I think 2 weeks ago, even after their first loss, I would have said they're like nearly unbeatable. Like it was hard to find holes in that team, and
there's ways now.
There is way. I mean, it shows you any NFL team is vulnerable. Like the question mark now, Brock Purdy wasn't the question mark 3 weeks ago. Trent Williams, Deebo Samuels, who knows? Who knows, man?
Do you guys think? And we're gonna get into all this NFC and all this Chase Young nonsense in a couple of segments. I want to kind of ask this though, real quick, and we can go around the room on this one. Do you guys think the 49ers would have went after Chase Young if they didn't just lose 3 straight games? Like if they were sitting there at 7-1 or 8-0, do they do that? What do you? I don't think so.
There's definitely not as much pressure to do that, but I don't know. The 49ers are one like they make savvy moves. Whether they work out, I mean, they went after Randy Gregory a couple weeks ago when they were hot, and that's I guess a high upside, but also that's a move that could affect your locker room. There's some risk to that. I think they may have, but you're right. Losing 3 straight, they're like, man, we need some firepower. I also think, I don't know if this is what you were getting at, like they see the Lions coming and they see a top offensive line, although it hasn't been healthy. They need firepower to go up against the Lions offensive line.
They saw other teams like the Seahawks. They saw people making moves, and they were a little bit like,
yeah.
Jaylen, do you think they make a move if they're sitting there at like 8-0, 7-1?
Yeah, why not? I mean, muted.
There we go.
That's
I
crazy.
Start over.
That's crazy. But I think they would. It's John Lynch. I seen Lucas make a tweet about it too. Like they want to win now. They keep getting close. They got the room. Like why not get them? They got Gregory from the Broncos. So it's just like they can be 8-0, 10-0. Like if he's out there for what they got him for, like what we almost got him for. But what they got him for, it's like why not? It's free. It's free money. It's a free baller. You know, they say he has attitude issues and stuff like that. Orgs who say that sometimes aren't the best orgs too. So maybe if he gets in San Fran, he can grow up a little bit. I don't know, but I think it's a good pick for them.
Lucas, what do you think? You think they still do it at that? I know, like Jaylen said, you're the John Lynch guy.
I mean,
the truther.
Do I think they get him for what? Like rephrase it to me.
I'm just like, do they even go after Chase Young if they're 8-0?
The 49ers?
If they're 7-1.
I think so, just because they're always aggressive. Like John Lynch has done this in the past. Like they traded for Trent Williams. They had an elite run game after they got Trent Williams, and they went and they got Christian McCaffrey. They did it again when they had, like to Jalen's point, they already got Randy Gregory, so they shared up that position, and people aren't really talking about it, but Cleveland Farrell for him right now, he's balling out too. Like he's one of those underrated guys that's holding it down for the 49ers. So now they have 2 rotational guys to go behind Chase Young. Like they're set. And John Lynch and Howie Roseman are going to do it again. Like this is not something that's out of the realm for them, and it's not going to escape the realm anytime soon. That's why I was just disappointed, because it's like,
yeah,
we'll get into it more, but it's like it was different this trade deadline because last year on the trade deadline the Lions were 2-6. The trade deadline before that they were 0-8.
And they
so
sold
it's like
last
they
year.
really were never like in a position where if they made a trade it would take them to a next level. That's why, and I'm not mad. I've gotten over it. I buried the hatchet. Is what it is, but that's why
I'm going to get you re-mad next segment. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. We'll have a good conversation. When we come back, though, we are going to go back into this trade deadline conversation. Lucas was on BDE a little bit talking about it. I know the morning show talked about it, BDE. I didn't really get to tune in a little bit to E&E, so I don't know how much they spoke about it. And then, obviously, yesterday, the heavyweights kind of went off about it, and we had our time. But I think dive in a little bit more. I want to get everyone's feelings the day after.
Yeah.
Where are we at? And then it'll lead us into a couple different conversations.
Real quick, before we go to break, rest in peace, Bob Knight, winningest basketball coach in the history of NCAA Division I basketball, died at 83 years old. Got to say something about him.
Can I make it known as well, too, as much as of a crazy man that he was made out to be, I was telling you before, I obviously coached college basketball. The coach I coached under was with Don Meyer for about 15 years, and he would tell me that how he would go hang out with, like they actually would go on trips with Bob Knight, go hunting. Said he was one of the greatest people. Obviously, we saw him throwing chairs and screaming at people, but he was a great human as well, kind of outside of that.
And he was a huge part of Indiana basketball. I know there've been a couple guys in just Indiana basketball in general. Think of the Hoosiers' legacy and how he came in there during the era that he was there and continued that history, that tradition. Indiana basketball, baby. But let's get to break. We're going to come back. We're going to get back to some Lions. I'll tell you about Les Stanford first. Because, there we go, what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years. You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They got the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile Road. You can also check them out in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
Yeah, baby, and then right over to me right here, come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. I'm looking at it right now. Beautiful place for an award-winning haircut experience. You can register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. Rest in peace, Bob Knight. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. You can even take me, Booner. That would be awesome. That is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions Tailgate VIP at Eastern Market in Shed 5, and it's going to be a bash. The next game will be Sunday, November 18th. The doors will open at 9:30 and run up until game time. It's the official Lions Tailgate, and it's back, and it's better than ever. So come hang out with your friends here at Woodward Sports Network. We got food, we got entertainment, we got drinks. It's all included. Just head to bullseyeeventgroup.com to get your ticket today.
All right, welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. It is Woodward Nights with myself, Booner, and Broder. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. Share the stream. Tell a friend about the show. We're here every single weekday, 8 to 10 p.m., talking about Detroit sports. Lions are huge right now, so we're going a lot Lions today. Heavy Lions on the bye week. And then we're getting Pistons heated up. They're playing right now. They're winning 62-49. Look at that, Broder.
This is without Jaylen Duren, who's out with an ankle injury, and without Alec Burks, who was a late scratch with, I believe it's a forearm injury. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe that Michael Redd little wrist flick.
Michael Redd is crazy.
A righty. Their jump shots look kind of similar.
You might have to show me a side-by-side on that one. I need to see
Michael
that.
Redd's got one of the slickest southpaw jumpers of all time.
I like it. All right, let's get into it here. It's like the talk around town right now. Brad, every time I go on Twitter or anything, it's people are talking about this. It's just like, I don't know what it's like in your beat reporter circles or.
It's not like that.
I'm sure it's not. I heard Dan Miller talk about it a little bit today, and it actually felt like Dan Miller was a little bit kind of on the side of like, yes, like we wanted them to do something. Like I think everyone would have loved to see it, but it didn't happen for a reason. So I think Dan was pretty, and that's where I'm at with this, and I want to make it clear with everyone, and we'll go around the room here and talk about it, and then we'll talk a little bit more today about it, and then we'll end the trade deadline stuff because that we can move on with.
Oh yeah,
I think after today, it's like, all right, let's cut that off and move.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones just got to show our love, show that support
for sure.
I
love that piece
Shout out
as
to
well.
the homie.
Yeah, DPJ. That's a Cass Tech alum. That's a University of Michigan alum. Connor Stallions.
Oh, that's why you did it. Okay, University of Michigan. All right, let's get this started here. I just want to talk about the main part of the trade deadline. We spoke on it yesterday, Broder. Where are we at with it? Because I sit in the middle. I watched BDE today, and Lucas, I wanted to hear you too because you were on that show, and they kind of grilled you for a little bit. I was like, oh man, Lucas is in the fire right now. But
I held my own, didn't I? You think?
You did for sure. Okay. But it's just like a thing to where Neil's a tough one. When I do the pregame shows with him, it's fun to do it, but he does come with facts, so it's like, all right, here we go. It's a ride. But Neil's on the side with BD where it's him and D-Mac. Hey, we're perfectly fine. They didn't need to make a move. Brad Holmes could have. He has his own timeline. Doesn't care what people think. It's fine. And then there's a side over here of people, and I think it's two extremes, Broder. There's the extreme where people are like, oh, the season's over, you're done. They didn't make a move. You didn't get Chase Young. The 49ers got Chase Young, and that's the end of the season. The season's over. And then there's me, just normal Booner, just sitting there in the middle. And Lucas can do this because I was in some group chats with Easy, and I was just sitting there in the middle like, Brad Holmes, like, he didn't need to make a move. Would have loved for him to make a move. I think all of us can agree in this room. We would have loved to see Chase Young as a Detroit Lion to kind of take that next step. But I don't think it was necessary. And I'm almost at the point to where I feel like Brad Holmes, Broder, felt like we can contend with this football team that he has right now. Yeah. And that's why he wasn't rushed to say, let's do it. Am I wrong on that? Sitting in the middle of this and not on one extreme to the other extreme.
No, we had this. We posed this question to everyone, weeks before the draft. Like each week, we sort of talk. Are they able to contend for the Super Bowl? Not are they going to be favored? Are they going to win a Super Bowl? But do they have the ability to contend and go on a little playoff run? And it was right. It was accurate before the trade deadline. It's accurate after. It's the everyone wants a shiny new toy on Christmas Day or on the holiday that you celebrate, and it sucks when you don't get one. But that doesn't mean that your parents aren't making the right decisions with your life the whole entire rest of the year. I think what Brad Holmes did, he realized whatever was out there, if something was out there, I know the speculation, you could just get Chase Young for a third. It's not as easy as that. Maybe Martin Mayhew wasn't going to offer that to the Lions. Maybe the Lions are worried about his knee, or they're worried about his discipline. Like, there's so many factors that go into it. Of course, we want another player,
yes.
But so both can be true. I do think he missed a chance to elevate the roster. I don't think not going after Chase Young or Montez Sweat means they're all of a sudden not Super Bowl champions. Yeah. It just means the other teams who have made moves, they strengthened themselves. They did. You can't deny that. But that doesn't mean this team, as they get healthy, and that's a key part to this, as they get healthy, they can definitely still contend.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing to me. Brad Holmes came out yesterday. We played the video on the show to where he literally said, like, just because you hear all these pretty names and these names in the media doesn't mean that it's reality. And I truly believe, I think there's a 90% chance that Brad Holmes made an offer to Washington. Yeah. Whether it was for Montez Sweat or Chase Young, I'm pretty sure he did, because I saw reports that morning of the trade deadline that the Lions were in talk with the Washington Commanders in regards to Chase or into Montez Sweat, and the Bears were. And then a couple hours later, from that tweet, the Bears land Montez Sweat. So they were probably in talks. If you just kind of break things down there, he was out there working. The fact that he didn't get him, it hurt that much more when he went to the 49ers, Broder. That's where it was.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it next segment too, the kind of Super Bowl contenders, but I don't think that this is going to hurt the team as much as people are making it out to be. I think it's like hey, like that sucked. Like that really sucked. They just got the 49ers just upgraded, and there was already that little bit of a gap when you said earlier in the show, 49ers felt like they were unbeatable. There was that gap, and if you don't think there was a gap, you're lying to yourself. The gap you would hope in the trade deadline and went to here and went to here. Doesn't mean it's unbeatable. You could still beat the 49ers.
Of course, the Vikings did.
Exactly.
This feeling right now, it feels just the general feeling of everybody feels a lot like after the day one and maybe day two of the draft, where people are like, what is he doing? What is it was a polarizing feeling. I was a part of it too. It was like, man, okay, running back, linebacker, tight end. I was like, whatever happened to Kalijah Cansey or Jalen Carter? I know we're not supposed to say his name anymore, but like
we thought about that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, what about Jalen Carter?
Yeah, but hey, a couple days later, definitely a couple months later, like Terry Foster said, this draft was like fine wine. It only gets better with time. I have a feeling like that's the type of strategy Brad was thinking here too. Like this. It shocks a lot of people on this first day, that not getting the players you wanted. But man, who knows what this looks like over time with the guys coming back and what this says to the team. Remember, there are a lot of young guys on this team, a lot of young guys on this defensive line, and this is more the psychological side to it. And it doesn't solve things on the field immediately, but like what that says to the team, we're committing to you guys. Benito Jones, you got to keep getting better. Broderick Martin, we need you. Guys, you got to step up. Bugs, you got to like this is a signal, and I don't know if it's the right year to send that signal, but why the heck not? Let's go for it.
And you know what the thing was, too, and I thought about this earlier? How many Super Bowls had the 49ers won in the last since 1990 or 2000?
0.
Okay. And they've been to the NFC. I know they've went to the NFC Championship through the last 4 years. I get that. But they've made these moves every year, and they haven't won a Super Bowl still. And I get it's completely different. Like, I talked to Easy about this. He's like, Booner, like, and I get it. But, like, just because you make a move isn't going to guarantee. Like, just because the 49ers went and got Chase Young doesn't mean they're going to win the NFC. Like, that's not a lock. You could see them in the NFC Championship game and still beat them. It sucks that they got the guy that you're going to want, and you're probably going to have to see that duo in the playoffs. But, all right, boys, you guys, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, too, because this is like, Jaylen, I saw some of your tweets on it as well. Lucas, you were on BDE. The BDE conversation, because they were going at you. And I'm in the middle of that. Like, I like both sides of the argument, but I'm still, like, I've ended it with, all right, I'm with Brad Holmes. Trust him.
No, I mean, that's the argument I was making. What Neil was making it out to be was me saying that, we can't beat anybody in the playoffs, which is not what I was saying, because that's what Spencer said, and he kind of grouped me in with it. My thing was I was just disappointed that we didn't address the defensive side of the ball at all. I wasn't even stuck up on Chase Young. I see the Bills making moves like Rasul Douglas. I see even Dory Jackson almost got traded to the San Francisco 49ers. My thing is, and my worry on why this team, I still believe they can make the Super Bowl. I think it is a much harder task now because you see the other teams in the NFC, they have improved, especially the contenders. And when you look back at the San Francisco game, or the Seattle game and the Baltimore game, you saw there was a clear weakness in depth in the secondary too. So that's where it's like, okay, we're just going to trust the secondary. If the secondary takes one hit, they're in a tough spot. But at the end of the day, I'm burying the hatchet. I'm very happy with the Donovan Peoples-Jones trade, so I'm not going to stay hung up on this and be like, the season's over, like there's no chance. Like, no, the Lions are still a very good team. This team is still going to host a playoff game. This team is still going to win the division. At the end of the day, that was the goal of the season, so I'm not going to be up in arms. But at the same time, I'm still allowed to be disappointed. If that makes sense.
You should have led on BDE with what you led with here.
I tried.
You should have just walked in and just like anything they said, be like, I'm not with Spencer and Easy.
I did. I was like, don't group me in with that. But he's like, you and Spenny and all the others. And I was like, don't put me in there with Spenny. Because D-Mac understood what I was saying. D-Mac, before we were talking, he was like, I was like, Neil was making it seem like you're either all in on Brad Holmes at all times or you're completely out. And it's like, no, I can love Brad Holmes, but sometimes just
you can always question.
You can question anybody. Yes. And at the end of the day, I questioned it. I came to some reason to be like, all right, season's not over. I'm a little disappointed. I think the season could have went better if we made a trade, but at the end of the day, it didn't happen.
Now we're gonna get into a next segment too, but to that point, and I think where DMAC, and when I'm listening to it today, where DMAC kind of made the point to where it feels like some people, like Spenny and Easy, are like they can't go out there and still go win the NFC. That's where it's like, okay, let's take a step back, because just because Brad Holmes didn't make a move doesn't mean you can't go out there and contend this year. Yeah. That is far from it.
And one last thing before we can let Jaylen preach, because I know I know he's passionate
I
about
saw
this.
I saw some of his tweets. Jalen's got some for this.
But I just like when you look at. Let's start with. I think because like, even before yesterday, Philly and San Francisco, they had a little bit on the 40 or on the Lions. So you look at the other two teams, Seattle and Dallas. That's who the Lions. They're gonna have to probably play them in the divisional round. And for the Seattle side of things, I most likely am expecting them to come to Detroit. And it's hard to beat a really good team 3 times in a row on the road. That's just tough. Dallas, they're not going to win the NFC East, so they're going to be on the road. Dak on the road in the playoffs, I'll take that every time, 10 times out of 10. If you shut down Tony Pollard, which the Lions probably will, that's how you win the game.
Don't give up your whole NFC playoff bracket. We're doing that next.
Okay.
I want to go around the room on that one too, because the NFC. You saw some text with me and Spencer today to where we were going back and forth about the NFC, and that was something I wanted to speak with about. Jaylen, how are you feeling? I saw your tweets. I think Jalen's kind of on the same wavelength as I think Woodward Knights here.
So first off, DPJ coming back home. I'm cool with that. I have nothing against the homie. That's number 9 right there, right? That's DPJ the Freak, if you guys know Cats Tech and everything, right? But to my defense, I just don't. I think we could have got Chase Young. I don't care if it was like for like a rental. You know what I mean? Like we're making a playoff push. He could have been there for about 9 games. I would have been content with it. My whole thing is like people were upset with Brad. They switched up saying how much we believe in him. It's okay to be upset because like most of the world in Detroit, we assumed we were going to get a DN, or whether it was Max Crosby, Chase Young, or PS2. So for me, I'm a little indifferent because I feel like we could have used that, and I'm only upset too because he went to the Niners. If Chase Young goes to like
worst case scenario,
if he goes to an AFC team, I don't trip because we don't see them into the Super Bowl if we make it. But you let the Seahawks make moves, you let the Eagles make moves, the Niners, they're all getting better. We had to go through those teams. We haven't beat Seattle in how many years?
Long time.
A while.
We haven't beat the Eagles in how many years? We haven't beat the San Francisco 49ers in how many years? Each team that we have to go through, not the Cowboys, I don't care about them. We have to go through all 3 of those teams. They all made moves and we did it. Not saying we can't win. People are saying we're not going to win. We were going to win the NFC North 3 months ago. It was a lock. Trust me. One of your locks, but it was a lock. Trust me, Booner. It was a lock. So it's like
lock.
Winning the NFC North isn't the problem because that was going to happen regardless. The problem is when the playoffs start and we see Seattle, we see San Fran, we see Philadelphia. How can we match up with them? And our O-line is great, but it's just like seeing your enemies and your rivals and things like that get free stuff and you have it right there too. It's kind of like, what's the plan? I think we're playing for next year more so than this year.
I think it was worst case scenario what happened, and Brad probably like when he didn't get. I bet you he made some offers, and when he saw his get declined and he saw who ended up getting them, he probably was like all of us, like, oh no. Like did not expect that one to happen. So I'm sure he was with us.
I can't imagine what NFL GMs around the league when they just see like, oh, John Lynch trade, Howie Roseman trade.
Those are guys that have been in the league doing it. So if you're new, Brad Holmes is new.
Well, dude, Howie Roseman's 2019. John Lynch is 2000.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to say John Lynch was 2019.
Didn't he go in with Kyle Shanahan? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
right around the same
those
time.
guys.
All right, when we come back, what we're gonna do, we're gonna hop into if the Detroit Lions after that trade talk, and we're gonna put a poll in the chat in just a little bit when we come back. Are the Detroit Lions still contenders in the NFC and for the Super Bowl? I do have a graphic and kind of some odds on that we're gonna talk about. But let me tell you guys about Big Boy. It's burgers and chicken sandwiches, baby. It's taken over. Try the best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. If you want some chicken, the Dolly chicken sandwich or the Bob's hot chicken sandwich. And if you're going to have some fries with it, you might as well upgrade those to chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. And at the very end, have some dessert. Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake or satisfy that sweet tooth with the Big Boy's funnel cake fries. That is over at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
5 Iron Golf, downtown's newest sports bar. They got 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. You have a chance to compete nationwide for a chance to win a trip to the Dominican Republic. Bring a foursome or sign up as an individual to be placed on a team at 5irongolf.com. Also, use code Woodward10 for 30% off the league. Again, that is 5irongolf.com.
All right, we are back, baby. It
yeah.
is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner, joined as always, Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter.
That's me.
Oh, yeah, that is you. We make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Share the stream with a friend. Tell people about it. Get the word out. Woodward Nights, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday, baby. All right, let's get into it, Broder.
Get into it, baby.
The question is, and Jaylen, can we throw up a poll? Let's just do NFC. Because if you win the NFC, you obviously go to the Super Bowl, so you're a contender for the Super Bowl. Can the Detroit Lions still compete or contend in the NFC? That's the question that I'm going to kind of face to the room and the people here. And fellas, this is where I had that kind of off with when Spenny kind of with the BDE was talking about and the Heavies were talking about it yesterday. This team can still go out and do what we wanted them to do. Yes, they're going to win the NFC North. Yes, they're going to go probably have a home playoff game. And yes, I believe they're going to win a home playoff game. After that, Broder, I think if you get to that second round, it is open game. And if you have a team like the Detroit Lions who contend, who have gone on the road and beat the Chiefs, yes, without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, don't care. You still went on the road in a tough environment and won a game in prime time. You have won that game. You have other challenges in front of you like the Chargers. You're going to probably be a 12-13 win team. You have a chance to go out there and contend for the NFC. And when I broke it down too, I was thinking about it today, Broder. Think round one, very first. Say you get your home game. Guess who you're probably going to play? The Minnesota Vikings, or probably like the Atlanta Falcons, or the Bucks, or someone like that. You're gonna play like a lower ranked team. That's a win at home. Yeah. Then guess who you probably match up with? Probably like the Seattle Seahawks at home or the Dallas Cowboys at home. Yeah. Are we all going to sit around here and look me dead in the eyes and say the Detroit Lions can't beat the Seattle Seahawks a third time, or not beat them a third time, but play them for a third time and beat them at home? You're telling me that the Detroit Lions can't beat the Dallas Cowboys at Ford Field? Anyway,
no, they definitely can.
I'll give it, what, 50-50?
Not I.
They're going to be it's almost going to be a pick'em game, probably. Right.
Yeah, pick'em for sure.
And then right after that, guess what? After you win that game, you're in the NFC Championship. You're right there contending.
Yeah.
You're 2 games in the playoffs from contending. And then, well, guess what?
What?
You go on the road and you play the Eagles. Are you going to tell me the Lions are going to get blown out in that game?
No.
No.
They might.
You went on the road. they might. But you went on the road.
I can tell you they are.
You've showed you could do it. Like, you went to Kansas City and showed you can compete with the higher end teams.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're going to be able to go and compete. And when it comes down to it in the NFC, we talk about it all the time, one-possession games. The NFC Championship game, if you can go out there and pull off a one-possession game, you're going to the Super Bowl and 3 wins there. That's not, like, if you're a Lions fan and you're going to sit here and straight up look at me in the eyes and say they can't do that, that is a path. That's a path. I don't know how much more clearer it is that the Detroit Lions have a path to go to the Super Bowl. If you get James, we're going to talk about it. If you get James Houston back, C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, you have a number 1 offensive line in the NFL, and everyone wants to say, oh, Booner, all these contenders have defensive linemen. They have all these great edge rushers. You have the number 1 offensive line in the NFL. There's a path. Lucas, you were... anything I said here is off base.
No, I think how this team should be looked at is like kind of how the New Orleans Saints were when on the tail end of Drew Brees' career, where they have a lot of weapons, and where the Saints were kind of screwed at is their salary cap. They couldn't really afford anybody in that defense. They still had some solid players, and I think that's kind of the Lions' youth, if that makes sense. Like, that's kind of where it holds them back a little bit compared to the Saints' salary problems. You got a conservative quarterback with great weapons out of the backfield that if they don't get hoed against that game against the Rams, but I believe it was Nikel Roby-Coleman, with that
Nice
PI
name.
call. I mean, if they don't get that team could potentially be in the Super Bowl. So I think that's the level and caliber that this Detroit Lions team is. So they definitely have a chance if they really want to. But to our point last time, that my confidence in them winning the NFC before the trade deadline was at like 50%.
100%.
And now it's probably at like a 25.
So what a lot of people around Lions Nation, One Pride Nation are telling me is that they're sitting there telling me, hey, this Lions team's one player away from being a Super Bowl winner to have that chance. That was what people are telling me. For how mad people are and the words that I'm getting, people are basically saying, hey, you're one piece away. But if you were that one piece away, you could still win without that one piece.
You're right.
You could still do it.
This is why I think people are saying this specifically, because I think they were one piece away from being the 49ers Eagles. Can we agree with that?
That is fair.
And now that
but
the
that doesn't
Eagles,
mean you can't beat them.
And exactly, but now that the Eagles both got dudes, that kind of puts them from one step to two step. And that's where it's like, can they still beat them? Obviously, any given Sunday.
Great movie, by the way.
Jamie Foxx, GOAT.
Yeah.
But it's just much harder now.
It is harder. The percentage, there was a couple things ago, like I saw, it was like the percentage of going to the NFC Championship or Super Bowl, and the Lions had the highest favorites a couple weeks ago to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC, which is based on the path. Like, think about that. Without making a move, you had the best chance. You didn't make a move, okay, it goes down a little bit. Jaylen?
Like, it goes down a little bit, but, like, the teams that were in front of us were already, like, to me, I think 2 times better than us. I give it 2 times.
2 times is a lot.
I give it.
You're saying they're double better than the Detroit Lions.
I think the Niners were before, like, Brock Purdy.
Before,
like, Brock Purdy kind of, like, had to make some stuff shake a little bit. I said, okay, I'll take it down a notch one time because, you know, the Eagles are kind of neck and neck. But the Niners, for sure, are a little better than both of us. But to my point, it's saying, like, we were one piece away, you know, from being major contenders, right? And the possible one piece that was available, the 2 worst possible teams or the main possible team got it. So I'm not saying like we're so far out of like the NFC race as a whole to an extent, but it's more so like I think it's a little bit, you know, harder, and like my belief isn't as strong as it used to be because it's like you see what we had out there and we kind of just like let it slip away. And the wrong person got it. Like, that's the only issue. Like, and I go back to my point. Like, if anybody else does that, I'm fine. But it's like the wrong person got the prize. The wrong person got the prize and got blessed. And it's gonna make things a little bit shakier and harder for our road to the
I think with the
NFC
49ers, anyone like you can make that point. I just don't like. 2 weeks ago, everyone was all over the Lions like they can, and we weren't even talking trade deadline at that point. I could have walked into anyone here at Woodward. I could have walked to anyone at Ford Field and say, hey, do you think the Lions can go win the Super Bowl? And we didn't even have to talk about trade deadline, and they'd be like, yeah, without even adding a piece. But all of a sudden, just like arms are up and hands, and I'm just as pissed off that we didn't get Chase Young. And to Jaylen's point, you're sitting there, the 49ers. That was worst case scenario. So this team could still go and do what we thought we could. Broder, the path.
The path.
Is it there?
Speaking of the path, their schedule. When we talk about that, that's an asset that the Lions have that none of these other teams do have. And I'm looking at it as a good thing. And I get there is a counter argument that I've been thinking about, and it's related to the Michigan Wolverines. Like, is their schedule, if it's too easy, is that a negative in disguise? Will that hurt them going into the playoffs? It could be an asset helping them get to that number 1 seed, but will playing weaker opponents affect them once they go play, playoff teams? I don't know. But I'm looking at right now as their advantage. They can use that schedule to their advantage. They need players to get healthy, though. But Steve Wilds and I were just chatting a little bit. I mean, if your edge rushers, no offense to these guys, are Charles Harris and Julian Okwara, I don't know if that's a Super Bowl championship edge rushing tandem. But if you put James Houston in that mix, and a James Houston that is at least close to what he was last year, remember, he didn't play amazing the first couple of games before he got hurt. If you had James Houston to that mix, that changes some things. You need these guys. You need Pascal to perform. You need these guys to come back. The schedule in front of us, that path it's still there for us.
It is.
I say they got to go for that number 1 seed.
I think that it comes down to it. Everyone's kind of point is the 49ers. That gap kind of widened a little bit when you were hoping to kind of shrink in that gap. I want to throw up, before we go to break here, there's 2 graphics that I put in. And the first one was 4 days ago. This was tweeted out, I think, by ESPN. But it was projected NFL or Super Bowl matchups. And I just want to look at 4 days ago. This is 4 days ago.
A lot of faith in the Chiefs.
A lot of faith in the Chiefs, but look at on the NFC side. The Detroit Lions were in that mix.
Hell yeah.
PFF 4 days ago, we're like, hey, the Detroit Lions could do that. Now, it may have changed a little bit. Like I said, that gap's widened from the 49ers. But I just wanted to throw that out there to where we're sitting at now to 4 days ago. And then the second graphic I want to show is the odds. Currently, that's not the odds that I put on here aren't 4 days ago. Mm-hmm. The odds are right now. And this is what shows me that, yes, the gap widened, but there is still that, hey, like Lucas, I know they kept bringing it up to you about the watch party and cheering. I'm still coming to those watch parties, and I'm going to be like, hey, we're going to win this whole thing.
That's where I was just like, that's where Neil gets you to get emotional. I wasn't going in there.
But this is why I want to show up to these watch parties and kind of
Neil's a masturbator.
Because you look at the NFC.
What?
He's good at baiting you into things. He's a master at it.
Okay. But look at these NFC odds, fellas. Eagles plus 230. San Fran plus 250. Cowboys plus 480. Your Detroit Lions, the fourth best favorite to win the NFC at plus 650. And then there is a massive drop-off, almost double to the Seattle Seahawks. These are the current odds in sportsbooks right now.
If I were betting man, I'd maybe put a couple bucks on the Seahawks.
Yeah,
is that how it goes?
Value-wise, yeah. But it just shows there, though, that you're not completely out of this race.
No.
You're still sitting there with the path.
No. Sit down, be humble. You just gotta be patient.
Sit down and be humble. Can we make a new a line? What's a punchline or a catchphrase for us for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Maybe I can ask Easy see if we can get some shirts made. I just want a shirt that just says "There's a path," which is like a nice little path. Okay. That's it. Just there's a path.
Like for Hansel and Gretel, you be Hansel, I'll be Gretel.
Yes.
Or other way around.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want it known that hey, there is a path to win the NFC. There's still a path for you fellas. Let's not forget about that. Let's not get off the bandwagon here.
You know what?
Head straight on. There's a reason I drink the Kool-Aid after every game.
That's true. Calling all landscapers. There's a path
that
they created. What we got,
I thought that was the outdoor equipment ad. We're going to you, though, for Dispo.
No. Oh, for Dispo. There is a path to Dispo. Romeo, you just got to drive out to Romeo, Van Dyke, and 32 Mile Road. Their Romeo location is open late night, Monday through Saturday, open till 12 a.m. midnight, excuse me, open till midnight, Monday through Saturday. Check them out, Dispo Romeo, they're a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory for Michigan's largest variety of products. Can it get any better than that? No, it cannot. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack of Syntron today and enter to win at drinksyntron.com/Vegas and buy Syntron at your local Meijer store. Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste so you can look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Check them out again at drinksyntron.com/Vegas.
Syntron, baby. Let's go. We are back.
Cranberry.
It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We appreciate all of you guys locking in tonight from 8 to 10 with us. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys haven't already. We're finding a path. We're keeping that thing going. We're not steering off the path.
Trust
Broder.
the path.
Trust it.
Forget the process.
We are the path here
The
in Detroit.
76ers have already bailed on the process.
Yeah. Did you see the owner of the 76ers? He owns the Commanders now as well. I'm pretty sure it's that same owner.
Interesting.
Something Ross. I could be wrong. I don't know. But they just traded away, obviously, all their players. So it's like everyone is like, this owner is just all about the process.
Interesting.
Like anywhere he goes, it's like the process.
Hey, the process. It'll do.
I love it. All right, we are here. We have a little shorter segment here. It's about 10 more minutes till we go to break. But this is what we're going to talk about. This is an interesting one to me because it kind of leads off these two, Broder. You brought this up, so I'll let you just ride off on this one.
Oh,
the IR.
Oh yeah. I think we just want to talk about like which, with the lack of moves being made at the trade deadline, which of the returning players do you think are most important to this Lions team to go on a playoff run? We got Josh Pascal. Yeah, Josh Pascal is not an IR, but he's been an injured player on that defense. And I guess when I said this, I was thinking more on the defensive end, but interpret as you please, Booner and team. Which of these players do you think is most important? We got James Houston, Josh Pascal, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, or C.D. Deuce, as his name is now.
Is that official?
I don't know. I think so. I'm going with it's official.
It is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. CD Deuce got the double deuce on the back of his jersey. I don't know. I know who I'm going to say, but who do you have, Booner? Someone on the IR, someone injured coming back. Who's most important to this Lions team to go on a run?
So my problem is, Broder, is I want to say C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I just don't know, like, is he coming back for, like, just the playoffs before that? Because at the end of the day, like, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a player like him, we saw it actually the effects within the first 2 or 3 weeks, or wait, just the first week, and then kind of that Seahawks game before he went out, he was making, like,
he's an animal. He's incredible.
He is. He's the heart of that defense. He talks the whole time. He is the vocal piece of that defense. He keeps kind of that energy going, and it's like the energy you want from a team that's going there to contend. And he's the guy, I think, the biggest piece of that. If you can get him back for a playoff run. And the thing with some of these guys, like James Houston too, so when you get them back, you don't know how great they're going to be when they come back, coming off an injury like that. So if you can get CJ back off a playoff run at where he was week 1, that would be my like most ideal piece. Because then what we talk about, because we talk about the secondary kind of depth, and we talk about that, and if you need that in the playoffs, if a guy goes down like we said with Jerry Jacobs with a rolled ankle. You can move things around. Brian Branch over there, and then you have CD Deuce. You have these guys to be able to do that, but he is like the heart of that defense. Dan Campbell or it was Brad Holmes. Someone already said it right away. It might have been.
I think it was Dan Campbell.
Said right when he's in the room, like he came back literally this week, and you could feel the energy in the building change like that.
Yeah. They both bring something valuable, and I'll probably go with James Houston just because of I think the defensive line needs a little bit more support than maybe the secondary. I think there are versatile pieces they have, but again, right to your point, they are very thin right now. Without Mosley, without having him in that lineup, if something were to happen to Cam Sutton, if something were to happen to Jerry Jacobs, you'd be in some trouble at cornerback. But if C.J. Gardner-Johnson's back, you theoretically could use him or Brian Branch at a cornerback position if you didn't trust Will Harris, or putting Will Harris at nickel, where I think he's stronger than at a true cornerback position. You can move things around, but I got to go with that defensive line. I know we've been talking about Chase Young a lot. I think that's just because we need. The new NFL, the path is getting to the path. I didn't even mean to use that from you.
That's the new
You got to get to the quarterback, especially when you get to the playoffs. Getting to the quarterback, making his day uncomfortable. Obviously, you want to sack him, but the pressuring the quarterback is as important as anything. You got to make it tough on the Jalen Hurtses of the world, the Brock Purdy's, Geno Smith. We already had Geno Smith kind of pick our defense apart. So I'm going to go with James Houston. I need the version of James Houston from 2 years ago, though. The first 2 games he played in, I don't know. I think they were using him a little too much in that linebacker in coverage. They were trying to get him to be a 3-down player. Man, just let him go get the quarterback. Quarterback's wearing red. He's a bull. Like, let him go.
That's what I'm with that. I like that. I wanted to go James Houston as well. I think it's between those two.
I think so too. And it's nothing against CD Deuce. Everything you explained is spot on. I mean, he's such an uplifting member of that secondary.
The best part too about James Houston is he comes back before CD. I think I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's a possibility he comes back in December.
Which is what, 4 games away?
3, counting since we have a bye week. So I guess to add to this question, like, can you win the next 3 games without them? Now, actually, that'll be my first question. I'll ask you the second one. The next 3 games: Chargers, Bears, Packers. You can win those without CD Deuce and James Houston, right?
Yes.
Cool. So you get to December, and hopefully Houston comes back. You never know when CJ Gardner-Johnson's able to come back. Is it December? Is it January? People are speculating that it's in 2023, which would be December. But then after that, the remainder of the season, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, and Vikings, those are also winnable games. Like, whether you have them at full strength or not, you can still win the majority of those games, can't you?
Yeah, I think even without them, you can win 12, 13 games this regular season without those guys. To me, the only thing is if you're going to get those guys back, like CJ or CD, I don't think you get him back in the regular season. I think it ends up being the playoffs. But like a James Houston, I just want him to come back for a couple games to get ready.
Yeah.
Like to get a feel for it. Because we saw the first couple games this year where he was trying that Sam linebacker spot. He was kind of trying something new that we haven't seen out of him yet. And he didn't, like, he wasn't the James Hughes. He got to the quarterback a lot. He had some pressures, but it wasn't like he wasn't finishing off sacks like he was last year. So I want to see a couple games before the playoffs with him.
And he's a younger player, just getting the feel, the rhythm, the speed of the game back again. You have faith that CD Deuce can almost show up and be ready to go.
I see someone here in the chat, Shift God. So we're going to need both for Dallas, real talk. I don't think you're going to get, maybe not.
What was it?
You're definitely not getting. We need both for Dallas. Real talk. I don't think you get CD back by Dallas. That's week 17. I know that's at the end, but it sounds like he's going to be back for the playoffs. Maybe
I'm not trying to interrupt
game.
or anything, but I would be honestly really displeased if CJ Gardner or CD Deuce, I just did what you guys did, came back in the regular season.
Disappointed?
Yeah.
You want him to heal?
I want him to heal up. I want him to be 100% because when you talk about the other teams that made a move on the trade deadline, CJ Gardner-Johnson coming back from injury will feel a lot like that additional piece that you haven't yet. It'll feel like a piece that you haven't had all season because outside the Chiefs game and the Seattle game, you really haven't had him. So the energy and just not only the energy, the talent that he brings.
That'd be the top move of the offseason. I mean, you might argue Kevin Byard is there too, but you could argue CJ Gardner-Johnson would have been
a great point.
If there was a trade, that'd be the number one trade of any team in the offseason.
100%.
After trade deadline, not the offseason.
I'm with you there.
Yeah. And that's the thing kind of with the James Houston is where James Houston, I would like him to come back a little early so he gets a feel for the game again and he kind of gets back in the rhythm before the playoffs.
Yeah.
CD, I trust him to come back and just be him.
Be himself, yeah.
Like he's going to do that. He's going to come back. He'll get an interception game 1 and there's going to be no question about it. Like that's just who he is. That's kind of how he's built. Was there anyone else? And you mentioned Josh Pascal.
I mean, I had him in my mind because I think he needs to contribute a lot to this defense for them to be successful in the second half. He can be a difference maker, but he hasn't really made a difference yet. You know, I can't say that he has to this point, but he's got that talent. He's got that ability. He's strong, and he's a guy that they trust. So I hope he stays healthy. I got some more to say about him in a later segment when we're talking Brad Holmes, when we're talking I forget what the topic was, but I got something to say about Pascal. I just think he's important to this team, and they need him. They need him.
I love it. I like that. I hope we get both of these guys back, Broder, for the playoffs. Yeah. And I hope they're at a high level. I'm going to go double here. I'm going to go back to back. I'm going to hit Woodward and Maine, and I'll tell you guys about Hamlin Pub. Woodward and Maine, though, you guys do not want to miss out on this show. It is the Woodward Sports and Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. That is Tuesdays from 7 to 8 a.m. and Sundays from 8 to 9 a.m. For all of your Detroit Lions Insider information, that is only on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And then Hamlin Pub, baby. Have you ever wanted a pub where you are a regular? I have, and I found one. We have just a place for you. Head over to Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this fall is already awesome. It's also the perfect time to shop for your home and auto insurance, so shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, so they definitely should be covering you too. So ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177.
All right, we are back. It is
We're back.
Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. We really do. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. My name is Booner. Broder to the right of me, as always. We've got Jaylen in the TD booth, and we've got Lucas Klotz in the sound booth today. We've got a full crew, and we're going to keep the ball rolling here.
Hey.
How many likes are we at here real quick, Broder?
How many likes? Got 57 likes.
Let's get them up. Let's get to 75 here.
That is blasphemous.
Yes, Stephen A. Thank you. I was supposed to dress up as Stephen A. for Halloween. I did not do that.
Smart move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what your plan was for the costume, but
I was
smart
just going to
move.
wear a suit. What are you guys all thinking? I can't wear a suit to work?
No.
You could have said you were a lot of people then.
Okay, but I wanted to be Stephen A. that day. All right, let's do it. Mid-season report card. It is the bye week. We are basically halfway through the season. 9 games left. We're 8 games in. We're going to go through a little mid-season report card, Broder. I'm excited for this one.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of names, and there's probably some explaining for each one. So, did you write any extra names down from the ones I put on there? Okay,
Nope.
so we just roll with these ones.
Yeah, we're rolling with you.
Let's start it off real quick. Right off the top.
Yeah.
Brad Holmes. I know he's not a player. I know he's not a coach. But mid-season, halfway through, trade deadline just ended. We saw what he did in the draft. We saw the team he's built. What grade are you giving Brad Holmes?
I'm going to give Brad Holmes an A-.
Wow.
And I actually I brought it. I talked myself down from higher grades too. Just giving it a little deeper look. He's had great drafts. He's got a great free agent strategy. He's made great free agent signings. My worry, on top of not adding that key defensive piece this year, my worry is that some of the players he's drafted and signed in free agency have been hurt.
Yep.
Or have gotten hurt early, like the Emmanuel Mosleys, like Josh Pascal was drafted hurt. He had injuries in college. J-Mo, Hendon Hooker. I'm patient with him. I think I'm cool with these picks, and I'm a supporter of him in these picks. But some of them, I don't know, some of them haven't worked out. But then I talk myself into it the other way. It's like, all right, he did also add enough players that there's enough depth. Where right now we're good. The Lions are good. They got enough depth to withstand this adversity, but there's not much depth after where they're at now. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's hard to find much wrong with Brad Holmes and his tenure so far. What do you think?
I hope this isn't shocking to you guys, because I've been like a Brad Holmes truther the last day or so and kind of talking about him and like, hey, we're going to be fine. I'm all in on Brad Holmes. I gave him a B+.
Okay.
And I think it's A-, B+ is about the same there. I didn't want to go all the way up to like an A and give him an A, and obviously I'm not going to give him an A+ yet, because the job you get an A+ once you win a Super Bowl. Because I know a lot of these are like mid-season grades, but for Brad Holmes, he might be the only one here that we're basically grading his whole tenure as a Lion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because all the other ones, obviously, he's not playing, but his players are. So I think as a tenure, I'm going to go B+. He's been elite at drafting. The only thing, obviously, the trade deadline, he brought in Donovan Peoples-Jones, which was a good
Big
move.
fan.
It was a great move. But obviously, we know what happened yesterday. You don't get get Chase Youngs, you don't get those people. So I'm going to go B plus because I just want to, like, once you win the NFC North and you do win that playoff game, then oh no, disaster.
What do you mean?
What the bottle fell. But once you do win those in the NFC North in a playoff game, that is when I kind of say, all right, I'll give you an A-A. And then once you win a Super Bowl, A plus.
Yeah, and you got to think it takes balls to let Jamal Williams go to trade T.J. Hawkinson, but he did that right from the start almost. So I'm a fan of that.
He's made some good he's been great. That's why I'm like, after yesterday, I'm like, I am still all in on this man. I haven't wavered off of him, but there are, like, that's why I give him a B plus. There are those things where you can keep moving up. All right, Dan Campbell, Broder.
Yeah, I'm giving him an A.
All right, me too.
I'm just going right to A.
Out there as well.
Yeah.
I gave him an A too.
He's a scholar.
Well, yeah, he's to me, he's matured so much. He really is the heart and soul of this team. The team's identity is modeled after him as a human being. I love the growth that I've seen on him this year. It's hard to find things wrong. He's even learned from his mistakes at a much more mature level this year. I'm big fan.
Here it comes.
Big fan. I was kind of a little fan, but big fan.
You're a big fan. Yeah, a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of A minuses. I'm seeing some A's.
That's fair.
Throwing there. Would you guys grade Dan Campbell? Let's go. I second everything you said.
Cool.
I think an A is perfect. Let's do this. We did this the last time we did a little report card. The coordinators.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson.
B plus.
I gave him a B.
Okay.
So we're on the pretty similar.
It hasn't been perfect. There have been good games. There have been bad games. There have been games, Aaron Glenn, I've watched, been like, dude, what are you doing out there? There have been other games like, dude, Aaron Glenn, that is the dude. Yeah. Ben Johnson, the same thing. He hasn't been perfect this year.
Like the red zone, there's definitely.
But at the same time, he's been pretty darn good. So I'm giving him a B plus.
I think a B is a good grade. Like, I don't know if people. Someone, Eric Burrow, geez, AG, D plus. Come on, man. He's had some good. I mean,
so I put them together.
They have the second best rushing defense.
Yeah. That is facts.
I put them together as well.
Yeah,
I think they're about both the B range right now. Now I think those two guys can get up really higher up. They can get to an A by the end of the year.
Do you hold them to a higher standard? Yes. Maybe Ben Johnson for me a little more than Aaron Glenn because they were so far ahead. The offense started the season so far ahead, but I just hold They if you want to give them an A minus, I could understand that too. I think they got room to grow. I think they left some meat on the bone.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. There was that stretch of games when you ended 8-2 and then started 6-2. Now, geez, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the Lions. That's legit. They're the real deal.
Dude, that 14-4 in the last 16 games.
Yeah, there have been ugly games, but that's no accident.
That's nuts, man. I just hit me there. All right, Court, let's go players here, and we can go a little quicker here. How much? Oh, actually, we have a good amount of time. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Jared Goff, I'm giving him an A. Really?
Yeah. I mean, he worked his way into the MVP conversation, and no, this season hasn't been perfect, but I think he's overperformed what even I thought. And I was a Jared Goff supporter. He's overperformed what I thought to this point. He's played very, very well. I'm giving him an A, and that I think is my last A.
I would like to see in the chat. I would like to see in the chat we were giving Jared Goff.
Yeah,
and Mike G. We have JMO's on the list. He said, "Can we jump right to JMO?" We will get to JMO.
Andrew Jones, a B plus.
B plus.
BJ is a B to B plus. AGC, to be honest, yeah,
that's my grade. B plus. Okay. And I would have given him an A because of your point. He's been in that MVP race for a little bit, but as soon as he got put in that MVP race, guess what he did? He went and played the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and he didn't look good. Nice.
Rest in peace.
Nice.
And I think there's still a chance. You have a big game versus the Chargers next week. Prove yourself there. You have multiple games. You still have a lot of NFC North games. Go out there, prove yourself. But I think he's proven that he can win games and he can lead us to where we want to go. But I'll give him a B plus because there are those one-off games. Last year there was 3 of them. So far you're about halfway through the season. There's been only 1 of them. Is there going to be another one?
True.
So that's where I give him a B+.
I can totally. If people give Goff B, I can accept that. I see it in a little different way. But
a lot of he's thrown not a lot, but it feels like he's thrown a few picks in moments where you're like, oh,
yeah.
After that streak. Yeah. So next one here, I'll go first. Actually, I'll let you go.
Here, I'll introduce it. Oh, what's your grade for Jahmyr Gibbs, Booner?
I'm gonna go B plus. I would say this too. If we did the last 2 weeks, I would give Jahmyr Gibbs an A+. But you have to talk about the full year, right?
Yes, you do.
You can't just go out there and throw out A's to everyone. I'm gonna go. I originally had B, and then I was like, all right, I'll give him a plus because he has had the great last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But a B+ I think is a fair grade for him, knowing now what he can do and what he went out there and did. But he did miss 2 games, and and it wasn't his fault. He struggled to start. He's a rookie. And you're in a new offense that was a top 5 offense last year. You're trying to get used to the kind of the system.
Yeah, expect a little more out of Jahmyr Gibbs, and whether that's his fault or Ben Johnson's fault to start the season, it is what it is. And I'm giving him a B+ too. And it looks like a lot of people are B+, A-, a lot of Bs. So many Bs in this. I don't know if Jeff Iafredi would be cool with all these Bs. But yeah,
Lucas, you want to stick up for him on that one?
B+.
I can't defend the B.
Okay, fair.
I can't defend that.
Yeah. Next one. We're going to go a unit. Top overall unit, led by Coach Hank Fraley. How about that offensive line, Booner? What are you thinking?
A. And I'm going to tell you why. Whether they had a good game or a bad, whatever happens, nothing. That unit has gone through so many injuries. And I'm going to mess the name up again because I've heard.
No, you got it. Just say it. Don't think it.
Well, Frank Haley. Hank Fraley.
Hank Fraley.
I heard Easy mess it up and say
Haley.
Frank Haley a couple times or Spencer, and I was like, Hank Fraley, Frank Haley. Which one is it?
I thought you were going to go Halapulavati Vaitai.
Halapulavati Vaitai.
Almost.
I got it there. But I just think with the injuries there, they've still done such a good job of filling people in. Graham Glasgow, kudos to him, man. That is one of the best signings that Brad Holmes did in the offseason.
Thank you.
There. Graham Glasgow has been so good for this team.
And just a sneaky another one that boosts Brad Holmes' draft grade is Colby Sorsdahl starting at guard and actually putting meaningful minutes and actually showing that if they want to move off Big V, God forbid they have to move off Jonah Jackson. I really don't want that to happen, but they have a guy that they can be comfortable putting in his shoes.
I heard someone today, I can't remember what I was watching. I don't know if it was Dan Miller. I don't want to put words in Dan Miller's mouth. If someone watched E&E today, I heard someone, it was Dan Miller or something else I watched, that said the Lions that might be what they have to do is move off Jonah Jackson if you want to keep other guys like Hutch and Panay, and you might have to do it. But Colby Sorsdahl, they've drafted, they've done that. Don't be surprised if your first round pick this year is an offensive lineman.
I wouldn't mind that.
Don't be surprised. I'm just throwing that out there early because Jonah Jackson, I know we all love him, but he's due this year, and you have to pay a lot of guys. Brad's done a good job drafting. You have to pay a lot of guys. So I heard that. I think it was Dan Miller. I don't know in the chat if anyone watched.
No, that's a good point. He's got a big contract incoming, and he's important to this team. I don't want to lessen his importance, and you weren't.
No,
but it's a big decision.
I think that's a compliment. He's
yeah.
that good to where it's like you can't pay all 5 offensive linemen. You can't spend that much money on your offensive line. So it's a compliment to him for how good he is. I saw someone in here should have traded him at the deadline. No, because you're still trying to go out there. You're not even close to sell mode.
He's our best run blocking offensive lineman.
He is.
He might even be better than Penei Sewell.
Did you give them an A as well?
I gave them an A-. I just think they're even their start. They haven't all played together. Maybe that's where I'm getting my A-. But as a unit, it's been really awesome seeing these guys fill in. Again, Brad Holmes, he gets Graham Glasgow. He drafts these Penei Sewell, versatile players that when people go down, they can play other positions like Colby Sorsdahl, who spent all offseason working at tackle. And when they need him, hey, go play right guard against Max Crosby. No big deal. Let's go.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra.
Hey. I mean, he's done everything you could ever expect. He missed one game, but you wouldn't even know it looking at his stats. Amon-Ra St. Brown has done everything you could ever ask.
He's missed one game. All right, I want to pull these stats out real quick around the room. He missed one game, and out of all the wide receivers that have only played 7 games, he is the number 1 wide receiver. He is right up there with all these elite wide receivers that have played 8 full games. He is right up there. He's on track for 1,500 yards. He's on track for 130 catches. He's on track to be an all-pro wide receiver in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, what, top 6? So Amon-Ra St. Brown, you get an A+, and you played with the flu.
Get a lot of Uncle Neil Softfeet A+, Steve Wilds A+, Peaceful Tim, gems or diamonds in the rough is Brad's specialty. That's right. Sun God A.
Yeah,
Mike
baby.
G. Detroit Lenny, Sun God is better than Megatron A+. Whoa!
Yay, let's cut
that caught me off guard. Not there
Who
yet.
said that?
He's got a nice. That was our guy, Detroit Lenny. He's on a
Come on.
Hall of Fame trajectory. I'll say that. Calvin's a goat, though. He's up there with the best of all time.
Let's do this before we go to break. Let's finish the offense out. Let's do one more, and we'll actually come back and we'll do a couple defensive guys.
Okay, are you gonna do it?
Everyone in the chat right now, I want to see what your grade is for the one, the only Jamison Williams. And Broder, while they put that in there, I will come to you to start.
Yeah.
I have a grade here, and I'm not changing my grade.
Me neither.
I don't care. I'm not even gonna put the chat up right now until after. I'll look at it after. But I want to see, I want my whole 9 biased. I want to hear yours first. Hands are up. I'm not changing my grade.
I know. I'm giving Jamison Williams a C. And that might be generous. And I love J-Mo, and I want people to be maybe not patient with him. I want people to stick by him and support him. But there's not much you can really give to raise it above a C. I mean, he's missed time at the beginning of the season, whether you agree with that suspension or not. He came back. He's been having a drop problem. There's no way around it. He keeps dropping the ball, sometimes in key moments. I wish they would utilize him in a different way and in a little more creative way on some short and intermediate routes, maybe behind line of scrimmage. But yeah, J-Mo, he's done a few good things, but and I think he's going to improve. I really do believe that. But up to this point, a C.
You know what, Broder? Lucas hit that one more time.
Dong.
I gave him a C as well.
Did you?
I gave him. You can't. If you go above a C, you're just lying.
C.
And we've been a show that's talked highly on J-Mo. Potentially, as people say in the chat, J-Mo called into the show. And we had a good conversation with Jamison Williams.
Jamison Wayne Williams.
But he has had time after time after time, had chances to catch the ball, had chances with elite routes. Jared Goff has given him the chance. He dropped the ball in the end zone. He dropped the ball on a route on Monday Night Football, national TV, that was in his hands, that he could have turned up and ran up the field for, I don't know, a touchdown maybe. We've seen it before. And guess what? He has not. He just hasn't done it. I don't know what else to say about J-Mo besides, hey, we just need to see it. And now Donovan Peoples-Jones has came in to kind of take maybe a couple of those snaps to kind of maybe take a little bit of pressure off him. That's how I feel about it.
I love DPJ.
We're over break, though, boys.
We are. Let's go. Let's go to break. I think you're going to tell them about Planet Fitness, possibly?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to back again. I'm going to go the Detroit Lions or Woodward Sports Lions post-game show. Let me hit you with that. That is Tom Mazaway, Sam Stick Day, directly after every Lions game. You guys will see my Kool-Aid videos on that show every single week as well after a Lions win. That is two legends hosting a beautiful post-game show. Anson's usually on that, Lucas, the whole crew. It's a great crew. Kool-Aid was on it the other day. They were taking calls. That is on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel right after every single Lions game. And then, after you watch that, I don't care how late it is, I don't care when, Planet Fitness. It is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable working on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment.
Squeaky.
Full body workouts in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. Yes, you can get that all for just $10 a month, no commitment. There are more than 50 Planet Fitnesses in the Metro Detroit area. Anywhere you want to go, there's Planet Fitness, and thousands more throughout the world. Check it out where your fitness is essential.
By now you know me, Christina Schnurry, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Cintron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Cintron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Cintron, and entered to win the Cintron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Cintron today at any Meijer location or visit drinkcintron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best, and that means taking him or her to Premier Pet Supply because they are hands down Michigan's best pet store. They're family owned and operated for over 30 years. They got over 60 brands of food, the lowest prices, and even curbside home delivery. Man, Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
All right, we are
funky.
A great song here. I kind of like
Sonic
this.
the Hedgehog.
It does. Hey, we are back here as Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, everything. We are live right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Right now, what we are doing is we're doing our mid-season report cards. We're halfway through the season right now, so we're breaking down some of these players. And right now, let's do the defense, Broder.
Yeah, we got, 4 defensive players?
We do. And we can go through this. We can, and then transition over to our next segment here.
Yes. Booner.
Yes.
The man. Aiden Hutchinson. Edge rusher. Detroit Lions. What do you give him for a midseason grade?
I don't know if I want to do this.
I'm
between 2 grades right now.
Of course, he doesn't have his answer ready yet.
I'm going to go.
He's like between a B and an A+. Booner.
What's in between a B and an A?
Like 6 different grades.
A B+. I'm going to go B+.
Okay.
And I feel like that's like really low for a guy like him because he's been elite. But I have very high expectations for Aiden Hutchinson.
I wrote the same thing.
I have extremely high expectations for him, and he has not lived up to where I thought. Like yes, he's gotten turnovers. Yes, he's gotten sacks. He's got a ton of pressures, but he hasn't. Like I said, he was going to get 15 sacks this year. Hasn't done it.
Yeah. Aiden's B+ is like another player's A. Like,
yes,
you just know there's more in the tank. You want to see it. You know the Lions need it. I'm with you.
Thank you. That was a great way to put it. Because I don't know. I wanted to give him an A, but I was just like, I just want to see more out of this man.
Yeah.
I just want to see it. Like Neil brought up on the pregame show, and I didn't even realize it until he brought it up. Kayvon Thibodeau's at like 8.5 sacks.
Really?
Maybe it's not 8.5. Maybe I'm like way off.
He's at
on
5.5.
5 and 6.
He had 3 last game.
All right, maybe it's 5.5.
But the whole thing is with Kayvon Thibodeau is his discipline, and it goes literally back to what the whole culture fit thing. And if you go back and watch
he's at
the
8.5.
game, he's at okay. So maybe
That's
he had 5.5,
shocking.
and then he had 3. Okay, yeah, no, that is true.
That is shocking.
Hot damn.
But the thing is with Kayvon Thibodeau is he makes those plays, but then in crucial clutch moments, game was on the line in New York. Giants were about to win that game, and then somebody lined up off sides, allowed the Jets to move, and that's the thing.
And they're 2-6 for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's what I mentioned to Neil. I was like, well, they're 2-6. Like, he can have 8.5 and be. I would rather be 6-2 and have Hutch with 4.5 than.
And he had Dexter Lawrence on the inside, and he had Leonard Williams for a minute there.
Gone. Seahawks. You're at B+ as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We agree. But what about the other long blonde-haired defender on the Detroit Lions? Alex Anzalone.
Do you want to go first with this one?
Sure.
Because I have mine. I'm locking mine in here.
Lock it in. I'm giving him an A-.
Wow.
He's played so good this year.
That's disrespectful.
Hasn't been perfect. It's disrespectful?
Disrespectful.
He hasn't played perfect, but he's played really, really good. I probably just handed out too many A's before this, but he's still has some stuff that he can improve on. But Alex Anzalone's been the heart and soul of that defense, you could argue, and A- for oh my gosh, A- for Alex Anzalone is a huge. So I support Alex. Booner, what do you give him?
The disrespect. I think the disrespectful thing threw you off. You were like, "Whoa, Booner, what are you talking about?"
No.
I gave Alex Anzalone an A+.
No, that's fine.
I gave him the highest grade you can give him, and it's something about Alex Anzalone. If you watch this defense, he flies around. He is everywhere on this defense. And the thing is, he hasn't just been good for himself. He's made Derek Barnes better.
Mm-hmm.
He's made Jack Campbell better. He's made Malcolm Rodriguez. The slander from Flannel Sam today to go out Malcolm Rodriguez.
Wait, what did he say?
He said that was a bad pick.
No, what he was saying, he basically was saying that, are we sure Malcolm Rodriguez was a good pick in the 6th round because last year he was balling out, but this year he's only played 7 defensive snaps. And that is the face, if you want to zoom in on Broder real quick, that is the face that I gave right when I heard that answer.
Huh.
A 6th round pick that can play all 3 sides of the ball for your team, I think is really
Literally,
fucking good.
all
He played
3 sides.
fullback against Baltimore, and he did against the Raiders on Monday.
He was the pusher of the tush.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Listen and listen to this too. Malcolm Rodriguez right now is not benefiting, but he is a part. This linebacking core is really good right now. As much as people don't want to say it,
Yeah.
Derek Barnes excuse me, and Alex Anzalone have been elite. They've been really good for this team. And the thing is, Jack Campbell getting into that Sam spot, it's taken him away from what Malcolm can do. He had 86 or 89 total tackles last year as a rookie, as a 6th-round pick. A team that finished the year 8-2, he had 86 total tackles. He can play. If a guy ends up going down at all, you have depth at the linebacker position, no doubt. But I don't want to take that off from what I'm doing. Alex Anzalone's flowers, take them. You can have all the flowers you want. Alex Anzalone right now, 57 total tackles already. He is almost, through 8 games, he has almost passed every single season that he's played in the NFL besides last year. Take away the 128 last year he had, he has almost passed every single year he was with the Saints and his first year in the Lions. He has already 3 sacks, which is a career high for a season through 8 games. He has 4 pass deflections, which is almost a career high for him through 8 games. This man has been elite. He has been the heart of this defense. He is the sole reason why, to me, this defense has been rolling at a high level. It's the way Alex Anzalone has been leading and been playing.
Got 3 comments in a row. How about this? Peaceful Tim, Rodrigo does whatever he is asked, whatever, whenever. Linebacker, special teams, fullback. Right below it, Patrick Ofiar. Anzo was a popular worry preseason. People were worried about him, worried about that 3-year contract they gave him. And then right under that, actually 2 under that, LFG, without Anzalone, Lions may have lost at least 1 more game. He's a difference maker.
He is.
I love those.
And I think Anzalone, I think he deserves all of his flowers.
He does.
I hope he's in the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah, just not
I
Trey
think
Flowers.
he's on his track to it.
Yeah. How about, I like this next one, Booner. Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you give?
I went A. I know you didn't give out a lot of A's. I gave out a handful of A's, actually, on the defense.
That's fine. They're 6-2 at this number 2 spot in the NFC. They deserve some A's.
And people are like kind of going at Cam Sutton. I saw on some other shows saying that he got beat a couple times by Devontae Adams. Well, guess what? It's Devontae Adams and Cam Sutton. And guess what did Devontae Adams end up doing? I don't care what quarterback he had or what. What did he end up doing?
0.0.
And there was plays that he made to where you could have been like, oh, there's a flag. No, Cam Sutton's a veteran. He knows how to disrupt an offensive player, an elite guy like Devontae Adams. There's a reason he got the game ball with Jerry Jacobs. Cam Sutton has been a huge piece.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot about him, and people say it all the time. It's very cliche to me, and I hate hearing it, but there's a reason you don't hear his name a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a cliche thing in football, and I hate it, but it's just the truth.
100%. I'm with AJ Evanowski. I'm with Mark Royal. I give him an A+.
Love it. I like that too. Haven't
heard his name. You haven't? Has there been a number 1 wide receiver beat the Lions this year?
Nope.
No.
Who are you going?
No.
Tracy Walker.
Tracy Walker.
Last one.
Giving him an A.
Me too.
Like Tracy
Easy as
Walker
that.
has been as good as you could expect coming off an Achilles injury. Actually, that doesn't give him enough credit. He's been great coming off an Achilles injury. He gets his starting job yanked from him right before the season starts, and he just continues to persevere and comes in and is an absolute difference maker on that defense, both hitting people. He's one of the hardest hitters in the league. Also, he's did he get a pick? No, he's had a couple go through his arms, but he got a sack this past game.
When I said that the other day.
I didn't come at you for saying that.
Do you remember when I was like, stop
yeah,
dropping
no, you
passes?
came at yourself. I think you. Anyways, A. Tracy Walker, you give him an A too?
I did. Yeah, I gave him an A. I think it's everything you said. I just second all of that. He's been. You needed him to step up. He was going to be a bench guy coming off the bench, and things changed quickly, and he stepped up.
Steve Wild says, "Let's grade each Woodward personality." We should do that as like a day.
Can we do that with HR?
Ask D-Mac tomorrow.
I think HR would be perfectly fine with that. I don't think he'd have any issues.
Lucas, why don't you grade the room?
Grade the room? Overall grade?
Put him on the spot.
All right, Booner. Well, I'll give Booner last. Jaylen?
Thanks.
Rookie in the league, I'd say. He's a rookie prospect. Fresh feet, but I think he shows a lot of promise. I think he has all the attributes to become a star. If we're going 1 to 100, 1 being the absolute max out of one's career, I'm going to put Jaylen at an 82 right now. I'm not going to give him too much love because I know what he's capable of. Now, he hasn't met his ceiling yet, so he's got a lot of room to go. Broder?
Hey, man.
Lions inside reporter? Whatever. I think you're a very great personality to have on there. You're full of life. So I'm going to give you 87.
Oh, man, thank you.
87 for
Sam Laporta.
I think you have a lot of diversity in there. And Booner?
I'll take it 50.
It's tough.
Some of these comments.
I know this is amazing, actually.
I'm going to give you, I think you have a lot of passion. A lot of passion. Sometimes it can get in the way. I'm going to give you
Be smart here with your words.
You got your.
Be honest with your words.
You've got the social media down. You've been here for a little bit, so you're a tenured vet. I'm
like Malcolm.
No, Malcolm's. I'd still consider him a young. I would consider
two-way player.
Two-way player. Yeah.
Show and social.
I'll give you a 86.
Wow.
Close to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could start on 2K without VC.
You can.
Noted. That's noted.
Jaylen, as an NBA, like if as a 2K prospect, I would say, and I know I said rookie, but I'll go with Jaren Jackson.
That's a good comp.
Noted, Lucas.
What was your grade, Broder?
All-star.
87.
Oh yeah, this is great.
These are rigged.
Yeah.
This is rigged.
You asked.
Rigged.
No,
Dude,
this is
you gotta
rigged.
be able
He's
to
got
handle
the
the
edge on
answer.
you. That man has boots on the ground in Allen Park multiple times a week.
This is rigged.
You're not
I don't
kidding,
want
dude.
my grade. I want to be at 50, like I said.
All right, you want to be?
I want to be an underdog.
You want to be that junkyard dog that gets walked on, and then you gotta get like a two-way contract, and then you get the 12th spot on the bench. Then you bump up to the 8th, you bump up to the 6th, and then you're kind of just fighting there for a minute to get a starting spot. Then you're the lowest minute starter.
All right, we got to go to break.
There you go. That's your career.
Cardinal, or no, actually,
Feldman. Let me tell you about Feldman. Because since
me and Lucas have a problem now.
They do, but Feldman does not, because since 1996 they've been offering the Feldman Advantage, which is their ability. They just provided a world-class car buying experience. They got 18 locations, so there's definitely one in your backyard. You just got to visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Catch Woodward Sports live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. They will be there this coming Monday.
Yes,
and then
sir.
every other Monday after that. So Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. But Booner.
Guardian Alarm, customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they will take the time to recommend security and automation solutions that are specific to your needs. That is 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member, they will stay on the phone as long as needed. That is technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that has proven to work and people who have been proven to care. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has been providing Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, dry-aged beef, and Wagyu beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or check them out online at fairwaypacking.com.
All right, we are back. It is Woodward Sports Network. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The no music threw me off a little bit. You see what I did there? But since I'm a low grade in 86, I guess I can figure out a way to go about that and keep this show rolling. I'll keep this thing going. Don't worry, boys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. What's that?
Let us gingerly touch tips.
What?
Yeah, I don't know about
Both
that.
of you down one overall.
Yeah.
The team lost confidence. Everybody's down one.
Team morale is down.
Yep.
All right. Moving on from the ratings. I don't like my rating. I need to get better. I'm getting in the gym tonight.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Maybe that was the point.
I'm getting in the gym. things are changing around here. All right, hey, let's do this though. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. We are going to, we'll save the Jared Goff stuff for tomorrow, Broder.
Okay.
I want to break down the schedule. We'll do that for the next 2 segments a little bit. And Jaylen, as we go through these, can you do just polls for each game as we talk about them? And then we'll just end it and see kind of what the people, what they feel like they like their pick for that game.
You said polls for what? Like each
the
game?
poll for each game, yeah, we have for 9 games. Just put like at Chargers, win or loss.
W or L.
Are you able to? Is that? What do you
Just
think?
copy and paste. Trust me. Put.
Oh no! I'm trolling right now. I got it. All right. I got it.
All right. We're trolling. All right, let's just get into it here.
Back under the bridge we go.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. We're going to start off here right now. Obviously, the Lions 6-2. We're going to start at the Chargers, coming off the bye. Broder and I, let's come together on a solution, a win or a loss for each game.
Okay, as long as you say win like I am, then the solution is combined. They're going to win this game. I don't care what anybody
You're
says.
going to say win for. We can't say win for every game.
I won't.
Okay.
I have a loss in
But
there.
we're going to have to
two,
we're going to have
four.
to agree on at least 2 or 3 losses here.
No, we don't. Why do we have to do that?
Just so we can get our real record here on what we think they're going to end.
You can have your real record, I'll have mine.
This is where the 86 overall comes into play.
Well, I was hoping we got
awareness is a little low right now.
Together record here. That was the point. But all right, we'll do our own then. I'm going to say a win. Chargers win.
Yeah, dub. Peer pressured him into that one.
Yeah, you did.
Number 2, right after, versus the Bears.
Well, let's let these.
Oh yeah.
Let's let these. Let's
Sorry,
talk a little bit. Let the fans talk. Let the people. We're a show of the people. I just moved down to an 85 because I'm a show of the people. I like the people. I love you guys a lot. About you guys.
4 score.
All right, we'll let that go a little bit though. No, I think coming off the bye though, to be completely honest, I think you have to come in and win. Like your game plan has to be on point. You have to be ready to go. I am a little bit worried about this Chargers team, though. It is a team with a ton of talent. We've talked about it a ton.
Yeah.
And it's on the road. It's in L.A. I think this is one of those games where you see a ton of Lions fans.
You're going to have more took the words right out of my mouth. More Lions fans than LA fans. You're going to be $20 acai bowls at the stadium. Everyone's going to be nice and chill. Chargers aren't going to win this game. And this is Ben Johnson's job interview. He's got to go show off.
Oh, maybe he gets a Raiders job. Maybe he does.
It's not a bad idea if he goes and gets another quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what the poll is at. 39 votes, 82% win. I think they're going to say win for every single game. I have a feeling. Dang. Yeah, Lucas is like, yep. All right, we have all wins across the board there. Bears. Let's not even Jaylen. I don't know if you're putting it in there. Let's not even do a one for the Bears. I think that's just going to automatically be a win.
Mm-hmm. I have a dub. This is home versus the Bears.
Home versus the Bears. That's a win.
Yeah,
I think the people. I think they're going to say a win.
Yeah.
Do we agree with that?
I do.
All right, I think that too. People, we agree. Win-win. So we're 2-0, right? Coming off the bye. All right, great talk there, Broder. Versus Packers. I think we're at home versus the Green Bay Packers. Let's just end the poll. I just want to see in the comment section here. I just want to see what people just put at home versus the Green Bay Packers. Where are you guys at? I think that's another win. Jordan Love. This is part of that 10-game stretch to where you're sitting there, and this is kind of his not his interview, but it's like, hey, your career's on the line here. What are we doing here? I think. No matter what, this Lions team is going to dominate the Packers. I think the Lions go undefeated in the NFC North this year.
That's a hot take, just right in the middle. Actually, okay, yeah. Hey, I think they're winning this game though, for sure. W versus the Packers. It's Thanksgiving. They're hungry. They're hungry for this title. They're not going to let Jordan Love come and get that dub.
Love it. All right, let's move on to the state. Let's see what the people in the chat real quick are saying. W, dub, Thanksgiving win. W. Yeah, that is on Thanksgiving too. Sweep of Green Bay again. We eating that jerky on Thanksgiving. I think that's the turducken.
No, drucky.
Drucky?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a shit. I was about to. I
know where that was going.
Yeah, that was one of those. I was trying to think of something creative and just I was going to talk before thinking, and what was in my head was not.
I saw all win. I didn't see one loss.
Credentials snatched.
Not gonna come in. Yep, snatched.
All right, on the road versus the New Orleans Saints. This is where I'm going to go with it. This is going to be a really tough game. I said it the other day. I think the Chargers, Saints, and Cowboys are the toughest games left on the schedule. 3 tough road games. I think you drop drop one of those, and if you guys want to foreshadow and kind of think the one we're going to drop, Detroit Lions win this game in New Orleans to go on a 5-game winning streak, to go, what is it? Would it be 11-2? I think they win this game on the road.
Dang, that's a lot. I'm agreeing with you, though. W against the Saints. This is not a trap game, but going to New Orleans is never easy, regardless of how good or bad they are. So I do think they're going to go in and win.
I see. Okay, I'm not going to lie. If anyone else is looking at the chat, I see more L's than wins.
This is a fair for if people are picking losses. This is one on the list of potential losses.
I'm going to put in a loss for the chat. Is that okay, chat? Can I put you guys to chat? Can I put an L down for you guys? I saw a majority L's. Uncle Neil soft feet disagree. He said W.
With the shape of an L on your.
Can I put an L for the chat? No one's answering here.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, JC said L. And Denver Blair said no L's, Booner.
My bad. It's kind of hard to tell when you're talking like to us or to the chat sometimes.
Talking to the chat. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. We need some clarification.
If you guys think there's a loss, just blurt it out. All right. Blurt.
So we've done Chargers, Bears, and then Packers so far?
And Saints.
Saints? Yeah, I think we're
Saints at home, right?
No, Saints on the road.
It's a tough game.
I'm saying like they're at home. Right?
Yeah,
the Saints.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be a tough one, but that's one of those games where if you go in there sleeping, yeah, you're going to get smacked around. But I think coming off the bye, the Lions will have momentum. I don't think that'll be a game. I think Derek Carr will have some pressure under him, and at that point, that's wraps.
Steve Wild said Lucas is getting snippy. He's probably hungry.
No,
Lucas has been working all day.
I brought Lucas tacos in for coming in tonight to do the.
He did. He hooked me up. I came from the Planet Fitness workout. Shout out, and Booner got me right.
I'm seeing more L's for the Saints, so the chat's getting L's.
I don't think that's a bad one to put as a loss. Like, that's an understandable one.
No, it isn't. Let's go to break here. When we come back, we'll do the second half of the schedule here. Right now, as of now, I have them going 4-0 so far. Chat, you guys have them 3-1. Broder has them 4-0.
Oh yeah, I do.
All right, tell us about Mark White.
Mark White, when buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. So sellers, how would you like to have the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what you can do with the Mark White and Associates minute-by-minute listing agreement. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. Again, that's markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success. That's
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Alrighty, let me tell you guys about Glorious Cannabis. Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good it takes like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls yet, you are missing out. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% out. Check us out online at gloriouscanna.com.
Glorious! All right, we appreciate you guys. Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We are going to keep this thing going. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. We're going right now. We're going through the Detroit Lions schedule, second half of the season. Can we... Oh, we've got some music going. Let's go, Luke, because I heard it on the thing here. I heard the echo. I turned it down.
Put it on the sticks.
Yeah, so we've already gone through the Chargers. We had as a win, Bears win, Packers win, Saints as a loss for the chat. I had that as a win. My hat is just crooked. Brand new hat here. I can't figure this thing out.
Look at that old 1995 Daytona 500.
Thank you. It's crooked though. I'm looking at it and it's like it's really weird.
It might actually be your head.
It could be.
I have a crooked head.
The disrespect I'm getting around here. Maybe I do have a crooked head and a crooked smile. All right, we're going to the Bears. Chicago at Chicago. Broder, where you at with this one?
So this is going to surprise a lot of people. This is my first loss of this second half of the season. They're by far a better team than the Chicago Bears. This is a tricky one going to Chicago late in the season. You never know. Chicago has some weapons. They're dysfunctional right now. They're all over the place. I don't have faith in them, but if they're going to lose a game in the second half, and maybe that's foreshadowing, it's going to be maybe the Bears.
I can't see them losing to the Bears.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know.
That's fine. I mean, they shouldn't lose to the Bears. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to find losses here.
I like that. I just can't find myself being like, yeah, they're going to lose to the Bears on the road or not. Especially after last year, and I feel like the Lions are better, and the Bears are kind of around the same mark, in my opinion, if not maybe worse. I'm gonna go win. Let's see where the chat's at.
Yeah, what do you think, chat?
I think a lot of wins. Mike, you said Ricky Bobby Booner. Yep, shout out.
Lamar Seaborn's keeping score. I'm 4-1. I got him at 4-1 in these next 5 games.
5-1. I've been winning the next 5 games.
Hey, look at that. So you pick Bears.
Someone said L Chicago weather. JC said W. EFOG W. Britt from IAW. Denver. He said 5-0.
WW.
Let's say a W for the Bears.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to the chat. All right. At home, you're coming back home versus the Denver Broncos. It could be a Saturday game, maybe a primetime Saturday night. It's still kind of a flexed option there. I saw it could be Saturday or Sunday. Broder, who do you like?
So this is sneaky. I'm going with the Lions W, but the Broncos, who I've had as like the worst team in the NFL almost all season, they've somehow snuck out three wins. They just beat the Chiefs. Are they going to be better later in the season? I don't know. I definitely have a W though. They're doing some things. They're turning the ship around. I don't have a lot of faith, but hey, they're beating good teams. So a W. The Lions win.
Yep, I'm gonna second that. I say a W as well. The Denver thing, yeah. The fact that they beat the Chiefs kind of throws me off a little bit, to where it's like, if it was a road game, maybe. But I'm gonna say at home, Ford Field's gonna be popping. I'm going to Lions win. It looks like the chat, a lot of them are Lions. Easy said, I'm not blaming Killian, but And then he said the Pistons should look into trading for Chase Young. It's interesting. Imagine that. He would be a powerhouse at the 4 or 5.
I'm taking Myles Garrett all day long, though, if we're talking trading for football players.
The moves he was playing, oh, man.
Myles Garrett.
All right, 2 wins here. Win for me and win for the chat. Shout out to chat.
So you're 6-0.
I'm 6-0. This is a problem. I should have found a loss somewhere.
No.
That's the thing with this team, and why when people can be disappointed with the trade deadline, but it's like this is the thing that you kind of had to fall back on. Like, this team could very well be a 14-win team that wins the number 1 seed in the NFC. I know it sounds ridiculous because we were talking about the Detroit Lions, but let's be honest. If the San Francisco 49ers, even the Seattle Seahawks, Dallas Cowboys, if you were to show them this schedule, they're probably like, yeah, we're maybe walking out with 1 or 2 losses here. This is that. I saw CBS Sports put up a post about it earlier, and people were like, oh my God, the Lions might win 13, 14 games. Those are NFL fans from outside Detroit saying this.
Yeah.
Because it's just, and it just got easier with Kirk Cousins getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Frick. That's why I'm like, I can't find a loss. I know you were like, I have to find one, so you went the Bears, but
yeah,
I don't find one. I think they win. It's at the Vikings. You're at the Vikings week 15. Or week 16, I apologize. I think that's another win on the road. I said, I think you win the NFC North and you win out.
W, win. Yeah.
Chat, where we at?
Chat, at the Minnesota Vikings. This is week 16.
Week 16. This is the one on the road. No one's really putting it in here. L at Minnesota, first one I saw.
Hey, we need a couple more W's to turn that around after Corey Berry's L.
Let's see.
Da-da-da.
W.
Okay,
W.
14 million Dallas.
What do we do? Do we give them a win? W. Denver Blair said sweeping the division. Okay, let's give them a W.
Give them a dub.
That could be a sneaky game, though, because Josh Dobbs, he's obviously not playing right away, but he's a mobile quarterback. They still got a lot of weapons with Hawkinson, Osborne, and Addison.
I almost wanted to give them a loss there.
I think that would be more likely of a loss. At Minnesota, we're saying?
Yeah.
I think at Minnesota is a more difficult game than at New Orleans right now.
Interesting.
I don't know about that.
The Minnesota.
Justin Jefferson will be
Detroit.
back.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson could be back. I don't know if he will, but they know Detroit better than New Orleans does. Daniil Hunter's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, you might not be wrong.
Josh Dobbs knows Detroit too.
Yeah,
so this is why I didn't want to do it, is because I have the next game, the Dallas Cowboys, on the road. I have a loss for that.
Oh, do you?
I do. I think towards the end of the year, you kind of already locked the division up. Maybe you're taking a little back seat there, not coming as hard. You should, but I just think once you already locked the division up, you go on the road. You've seen what Dallas has done to us in the past. You would hope they go in and win that game to prove that they're a playoff team and they can contend. But I think that's, if you look at the schedule on the road at Dallas, Dallas has won like, I'll go find the stat tonight because I mentioned it yesterday and I didn't find it. I think it's like 13 or 14 straight games at home they've won.
A lot.
They just don't lose at home. And that's like it's like a statistical fact. I'll figure that out in a little bit. Broder, what do you think in that game?
I got a W. They're going to go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. I think because they've gotten kind of embarrassed down there the last couple of games, they're going to go in with that mentality at the end of the season. They're going to win. They're going to show them something before the playoffs. So W for the Cowboys.
What about final game, Week 18?
Only thing keeping me from making this a W, which I am giving them, is that the Lions could be resting their players, could be resting their starters in Week 18. But I haven't beaten the Vikings. Vikings come to Ford Field. This technically still could be a flex game, too, for some reason. So they might be playing primetime. I don't know. I just think Minnesota's going to be done by this point. And I think Detroit comes out with a dub.
Okay, so in the chat right now, there's a lot of L's. I'm going to give the chat an L for the Cowboys.
Okay.
I can't tell. Some people are saying L's. They're going to rest guys. And that could be for Vikings. What I'll do is I'll give them 1-1 to end the year.
What Corey Berry says, Dallas, Riley Patterson going to have a game-winning field goal at the gun. Hell yeah.
We'll see. I just went back and looked. 12 straight games. Dallas Cowboys at home. They've won 12 straight.
Shout out Riley Patterson field goals, Booner.
Lucas don't.
I love you,
that's I love you too. That might be something the rest of our lives that I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. The rest of your lives?
Did you play that on the show yet?
No, he didn't. We talked about it a little bit.
We didn't do that.
What? The video.
Of what?
Do you have the video?
Yeah, I have it on my phone. I can send it.
Yeah, send that in. We'll play it at the end of the very end of the show. It was basically, I know I mentioned it yesterday. I had all I needed left, like just during the game, like swept almost everything. The only thing I needed in that game on Monday night was the team total over 26.5 or 27.5, and all I needed was that field goal at the end. And Lucas, and you'll see the video when it comes up at the end of the show, as Lucas is just sitting there just going, he just kept saying, "Oh, it's the automatic. He's making it. No way."
22-yard field goal, bro.
No way he misses this, and he missed it. And if you guys know like gambling and everything, like it was a good amount of money. It was like 3-4 units for me that I lost. So
3-4 Randy Johnson's.
Yeah, let's just go to break and move on from that. We'll play that in a little bit. Lucas, you want to tell us about Academy of Warren?
Yeah, let me tell you guys about Academy of Warren. Academy of Warren is a brand new state-of-the-art sports stone field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football. It's K-8 features that also have 8 AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Hoffman Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and many more. Make sure you guys check out the Academy of Warren.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Massaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
All right, Outdoor Equipment Co. Let's talk about it. It is the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports Network. It is Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers. Liberty trailers, generic generators, Snow X plows, and salters. They have it all. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. You could buy it. You can rent it. 0% financing. Delivery right to your doorstep. And it is OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Here we go.
All right, we are back. Mailbag time. It is Woodward Nights. Look at this beautiful. We got a new logo here. New logo. Not logo, but a new back wall here for Woodward Nights. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. Hit that like button. Maybe we'll go a little bit. Do
Sorry,
what?
I was just kind of mouthing something to Luke. We may need to pull the brightness down a little bit.
Oh, pull the brightness down. Oh, yeah, it is.
For another day.
It is a little bit. It's all right, though. Let's do it. Let's get into mailbag. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Listen, we're almost to 100 likes. Let's smack 100 likes before the show's over. Show some love to the boys. Let's start it off, Broder. You see any mailbags?
Not yet. Here we go. Freddie Felt, mailbag similar to a swear jar. Can you guys bring in a Jaylen Carter jar 100 times?
I love that.
Every
idea.
time someone on there mentions.
I love
that's
that.
fantastic.
Idea.
I think that's good.
I'm making that. Who was that?
Jaylen Carter?
No. Who was? Well,
Freddie.
Who was that? Jaylen
Freddie
Carter?
Felt 313, the dude.
Friday, I'm gonna make that happen.
Shout
I'll
out.
make that happen for me and you because I'm tired of hearing that shit too. It's just like if people were to keep bringing up the Chase Young stuff like after today,
Yeah.
well, after yesterday. It's like it's done, it's over with, it's not happening.
Hey, how about this one? Peaceful Tim.
Daddy.
The delay during the watch parties is excellent entertainment. Watching y'all pop is hilarious.
The delays?
The delay that we have, remember, like we talk about all the time.
yeah.
Is that because people get to see the play
They
and then they're like,
see it and they know
I gotta
what's
watch
about
them now?
Yeah, so people like
Interesting.
that. If people like that, that will.
We gotta tell D-Mac.
Yeah, because D-Mac's been in a battle with the stream trying to figure out the
D-Mac
delay.
thinks he can fast forward YouTube's 10-second delay.
It's an ongoing. It's definitely an ongoing thing. I love D-Mac. Hey, I don't think to be honest, if I didn't have D-Mac sitting behind me in some of these, I don't think I hit some of those bets.
Yeah.
That man sits there and gives me the best.
I think, and I know this is a joke, but I truly believe, well, a lot of people joke about it. I think D-Mac has some manifestation powers.
He
bro.
does, dude. He sits
I
behind me
swear,
and wins bets. It's crazy.
D-Mac has done some crazy things in his life for not being the most talented NHL player ever to win 4 rings and then just have the success that he's had off off the ice as well in many different ventures. That man gets whatever he wants, and it's for a reason.
I'll give him whatever he wants. Whatever.
Wait, come on.
What? Real quick though, the Way fan mailbag. Just a shout out for the gang in the booth, on the desk, and behind the scenes. We appreciate your dedication to the viewer.
Shout out.
Keep up the great work. Much love, gang. Thank you, Way fan. Got a big Red Wings game tomorrow. I know you're gonna be excited to see that. Way fan's one of the biggest Red Wings fan in the chat. Always.
Lucky here. Golf has to win a cold weather game eventually. Why not this year? Listen,
Lambeau last year.
Let's be honest, though. Lambeau last year, 100%.
New York last year.
Let's be honest here real quick, fellas.
Be honest.
There's only one game, probably the rest of the year, that he's going to have to play in cold weather game, and guess what game that is?
The Bears.
The Bears.
Take that away. All right, sorry, maybe 2 games.
Which one?
The NFC Championship game.
No, because they're going to be in Ford Field. Let's go.
Okay, well,
let's go.
And if they're not, they're going to be in San Fran.
San Fran's warm.
Yep.
So you have a chance. So I think that, all you golf people that hate golf because maybe he's not good in the cold.
Golf's played in San Fran a lot, too.
Yes, he has. And guess what? There's a path. I'm trademarking that now. Make sure you guys let everyone know that. The Booner trademark.
Eric Burrow, mailbag. Is electronic officiating bad for sports?
Yes.
Yes, I hate
Oh, my
it.
God. Yeah, that would make me want...
You're a baseball guy.
Dude, I don't want a computer umpire.
I like the natural. Like if it's messed up, you can be mad at. Like I like that.
There's part of the game especially as a pitcher. It's you earn the extra inch off the outside of the strike zone. You learn what type of zone that umpire has. That's part of the game, and it's you got to deal with mistakes. I think there should be ways to challenge. Like I think technology should. As far along as technology is, it should be used better to challenge. I don't know if it's all calls, but like. That Max Crosby fumble or that Craig Reynolds fumble and Max Crosby, I don't think that was a fumble. No. But there wasn't enough ability to change it. There wasn't enough, what's the word? Evidence.
Yeah, and if you think people are complaining about games being rigged now, wait till you see
man.
where the NFL can program automated robots to make calls for them.
That would be something.
Like if there was an automated ref that didn't want your team to win, there's no way that it's happening.
There was one here I'm looking for that I thought it was a good one. I think it was Mike G. Said something about Flannel Sam. Oh, he said Flannel hates role players like D-Mac, Ben Wallace, Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle. But isn't Sam a role player himself? Discuss. Flannel is not. Flannel is the man, first of all.
Yeah, guys, I know Flannel takes a lot of heat. I spend a lot of time with Flannel. The man's... I know his sport takes... can be asinine sometimes to listen to, but he's a good ass dude.
Can we just... Let's break this down real quick for the people. Flannel is one of the best humans in the world.
One of the nicest human beings.
I felt bad today after the show because it seemed like when he said on the show, he was like a little like I was like, I texted him after.
He felt bad.
I love Flannel so much. Flannel, listen, he does go at role players a lot.
He does.
It's like what is it called? When you like a certain something, like it's like your
troll
fetish. So he just likes going at role players.
His fetish.
His fetish is role players.
Undermining role players.
Yeah. That's just what it is. All right, let's do one more here before we end it.
Do you want to play that video?
Let's play that
like out of the show.
Let's play the video out of the show after we outro here. Let's do one more. Is there any other questions here? Oh, let's just do easies real quick. How long until DPJ takes away snaps from JMO right away?
I wouldn't go right away.
I mean, as soon as he gets in there, it's going to be. He's going to take a couple.
I think he's going to immediately take snaps away from Antoine Green. After he does that, I think you could see potentially, it wouldn't be snaps on offensively, but I definitely see them trying out DPJ at a returner position because he's a very good returner. And then if he succeeds at both of those, I think that's when you do it start taking into JMO spot. They just have too much invested with JMO.
I said this earlier. I think it's going to take a little bit of pressure off JMO having a guy like DPJ, and I think that's where you get a couple snaps taken away, so you can just relax. We're going to get you there. Once you start getting involved more, that's when you're going to start feeling what you were, when you were in Alabama. But hey, we appreciate you guys all for tuning in all night, 8 to 10. Appreciate Lucas, you sticking it out here with us. Nick will be back tomorrow, I believe. Jaylen, appreciate you as always. Broder, and for myself, we will see you guys tomorrow, 8 to 10. Tell a friend about the show. Let them know.
Let them know.
We love you guys. Watch this outro too.
Toodles.
Money. It's money.
I'll never talk to Lucas again if they miss this field goal.
I have such confidence for Ollie Patterson here to make this kick, Booner. It's not even funny.
Shut up.
It's so money. It's not even funny, Booner.
Man. So money ain't even funny.
He's automatic. He hasn't missed this year. He hasn't missed this game.
I will.
He missed it.
Oh,
he missed it.
Wow.
It's you.
This is not a good friend.
Put him out.
Hey, listen.
You owe me $200.